Good afternoon. It is February 3rd, and welcome to SkedLIVE. I'm your host, Jacob Schultz, and here's what's making news today. Sarah Sequeira takes a look at what Humber students think about the new G Building renovations.
Humber College, which used to be the Lakeshore Psychiatric Hospital, is set to renovate the remaining closed-down building. The G Building, which used to be the asylum's administration building, has been closed for 3 decades. Even though it never housed patients and no treatment took place here, the cottage is still set to be haunted.
I want to go inside the G Building. I heard some stories about G Building before, but I never entered in. So if we reopen the next week or some days, for me it's pretty good.
The windows and the doors of the G Building have been painted and sealed over. From afar, it looks like the real thing. But from up close, it's an illusion that meets the eye.
The cleanup process has begun, with contractors making holes through the windows for ventilation as they work. Supplies are also being laid out ready to be installed, but many students are still curious to know what exactly lies behind those doors.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I've always had questions on that. I always wanted to actually even go inside. The first day I came here on my orientation day, I asked if there was a possibility to go inside and see out of curiosity.
While other students are excited about Humber having another functioning building.
I think they should do it. Let's see what happens.
The G Building is set to reopen in early 2016, with newly renovated classrooms and high-tech equipment. But for now, the rumored ghosties of Humber College can roam along. For skedline.com, I'm Sarah Sequeira.
Thank you, Sarah. Restaurants across Toronto are competing against each other for La Poutine Week. Participating restaurants will showcase their one-of-a-kind, never-before-seen poutine with all kinds of ingredients. Sabrina Byatt has more on this story.
La Poutine Week is being held in cities across the country and a few in the States as well. There are over 100 different restaurants in Toronto competing against each other for the title of Best Poutine. Poutine was first invented in Quebec during the 50s. Many towns claim to be the birthplace. Quebec's comfort food has now become a cultural icon for Canada. Founders Naïm Adam and Thierry Razam started La Poutine Week in Quebec. People can eat poutine from participating restaurants and vote for their favorites online. Top poutine eaters will be rewarded with gym passes and other positive health-related prizes.
Basically, our hot dogs, not our poutines, but our hot dogs are all beef. And we want to do a little bit of a different play. And it's our featured poutine is a porker. So we went a route where it's all pork. So people that wanted the pork and the hot dog can not get it in the hot dog, but can get it in the poutine. Pop it because people love that combination of French fries, cheese, and that gravy, right?
Well, poutine is as you may already know, is a comfort food. And what we've done at Poutineville is bring it up a level to make it a real meal.
Ours, I think, is a little bit more like breakfast, and it's a combination of like the pancake and the bacon, and even like the tempura battered mix, right? And the sauce, the maple sauce that we have.
And if there's one thing that everybody agrees on, it's that
poutine will always be poutine, no matter how many ingredients you put on it, as long as the basics are there.
I think as long as it has the key ingredients of fries, gravy, and cheese, then it will always be a poutine.
Basically, if there's no gravy or no cheese, I think.
if you're gonna head out to Poutine Week, make sure you bring a lot of napkins because it can get pretty messy. Reporting to you from the Annex, Sabrina Byatt, SkedLIVE.
Thank you, Sabrina. Those who are passionate about yoga came together for a 90-minute class and more this past Saturday. Melise Mevlutago reports.
The Art Gallery of Mississauga held its annual Yoga Palooza event this past Saturday, celebrating the art of yoga, dance, and music. Dozens of people came out to the event.
My experience of yoga was actually from a stick book, a book of stickmen drawings. And you know what? They have a better autonomy than I have. And the thing is, I don't bend the way they do. So actually to learn from yoga from real people is really phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to that.
Guests were asked to remove their shoes before the class started.
It's a fusion class. Myself and Bridget, another founder of Yoga Palooza, we're going to be jointly teaching a variety of different styles. So get ready for breathing, meditation, movement, and some laughter as well.
Yoga is a great exercise when it comes to improving your flexibility and balance, as well as relaxing. The 90-minute yoga session includes different types of yoga, such as laughing yoga. After the class finished, participants received complimentary wine and had the chance to shop around.
And I find it very helpful with just being more mindful, being more present, so it's helping me a lot in my day-to-day.
Reporting from the Art Gallery of Mississauga for skedline.com, I'm Elise Medlitolu.
Thank you, Melise. Skedline reporter Chelsea Shear has the details on a Toronto startup named Better Creative, prototyping the new climate change video game, Skyshapers. For this story and more, go to skedline.com. In national news, Foreign Affairs Minister John Baird has resigned today after 20 years in politics. Baird took the office back in 2011 and has been actively involved in situations around the world. Baird has been widely praised for his actions taken against the discrimination of gays and lesbians. He has handled Canada's diplomatic missions to Libya, the Ukraine, and participated in the coalition mission in Iraq. Most recently, Baird has worked with the Egyptian government to secure the release of journalist Mohamed Fahmy. Al Jazeera journalist Mohamed Fahmy has given up his Egyptian citizenship to secure his release from custody. The decision comes after Egyptian authorities gave Fahmy a choice to either renounce his citizenship or his freedom. Fahmy was arrested in 2013 after being accused of supporting the outlawed Muslim Brotherhood group following former Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi being deposed by the military. Fahmy has a dual citizenship with Canada, and Foreign Minister John Baird said his release was imminent. Next up, here's Alex Karageorgis with your sports update.
Hello, I'm Alex Karageorgis, and here's your Skedline Sports Update. The Toronto Raptors got their 6-game winning streak snapped last night when Jason Kidd and the Milwaukee Bucks rolled into the ACC, beating the Raps 82-75. This was the lowest scoring performance Toronto put up all season. The Raptors fall to 33-16, while the Bucks improved to 26-22. Bucks shooting guard Chris Middleton lit it up from the field, going 10 for 17 and 3 for 4 behind the three-point arc, scoring 25 points. The Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo also had a team-high 12 rebounds in the win. DeMar DeRozan led the Raps with 16 points, and Jonas Valanciunas grabbed 13 boards and scored 12 points. Greivis Vasquez got the odd start, and he contributed with 8 points and 2 assists. All-star Kyle Lowry had an extremely quiet night, putting up a season-low 2 points. The Raps have the night off as they are back in action Wednesday night at home against the Brooklyn Nets to renew their heated rivalry. Tip-off is at 7:30. Sliding over to another Toronto team hoping to end a streak, the Leafs are on the road tonight looking to stop a 9-game losing skid when they take on the Western Conference leading Nashville Predators. Some of you might remember the last time the Buds met the Preds last November when they got smoked 9-2 at the ACC. And as you can imagine, Leafs jerseys were thrown on the ice during this game. The Leafs' abysmal record spans all the way back until December, as they have won only 3 of their last 17 games. Interim head coach Peter Horacek has just 1 win behind the bench since taking over for Randy Carlyle on January 7th. Puck drop is tonight at 8 p.m. at the Bridgestone Arena. Shifting onto the soccer pitch, Toronto FC's Sebastian Giovinco is expected to join the team ahead of schedule. Giovinco is going to link up with the club during the midway point of the MLS season in July, but his former club Juventus announced that the pint-sized forward has been released. A spokesperson for TFC says that the Italian player is set to arrive in the city later this week. The Reds are currently training in Orlando, Florida before their preseason starts, and Giovinco will likely be with his new teammates when they return to Toronto the following week. Now we will head to the links. Northern Irish golfer Rory McIlroy arrived in court for the beginning of his multi-million-dollar case with his former management organization. McIlroy's case has been adjourned by the Dublin High Court until 11 a.m. tomorrow local time. The 4-time major champion is suing Dublin-based Horizon Sports Management for misleading him into signing a contract with the company. The PGA's #1 ranked player left Horizon to create his own company, Rory McIlroy Inc. That has been your Skedline Sports Update. I'm Alex Karageorgis. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Alex. Now here's Emma Shatoshin with your entertainment highlights.
Here are the week's entertainment highlights. With the beginning of Black History Month, reporter Mike Ochulo looks at the movie Selma on skedline.com. It is based on a true story which unfolds Martin Luther King Jr.'s fight for suffrage in Alabama, 1965. Robin Williams' family is in a feud over the late comedian's estate. His widow, Susan Schneider, claims her stepchildren took items from their California home without permission. She says Williams wanted her to continue living there, so the children should only be entitled to specific personal items. Former Power Rangers actor Ricardo Medina has been charged in the stabbing death of his roommate Joshua Sutter. This comes following a 9/11 call indicating that he had stabbed Sutter with a sword after he had broken down Medina's door. Medina is claiming self-defense and is described as a sweet soul by his agent Gar Lester. Bobby Christina Brown, the daughter of Whitney Houston, was found unresponsive in the bathtub of her Atlanta home by her husband Nick Gordon on Saturday morning. He performed CPR while a friend dialed 911. A statement from the family says Brown is fighting for her life in hospital. Former hip-hop mogul Marion Shug Knight has been charged with murder, attempted murder, and a hit-and-run following fatal incidents that took place this last week. Prosecutors state that Shug intended to kill his friend Terry Carter and another man after an argument had taken place. Shug claims he ran the men over mistakenly while escaping a vicious attack, turning himself in to police shortly after. He faces life in prison if convicted and is expected to appear in court today. This has been Emma Shatoshin for SkedLIVE. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Emma. Matt Allen has your 5-day forecast.
It's -4 degrees today with a little bit of sunshine. Precipitation is at 20% and winds are pushing just under 30 kilometers an hour. I spoke with some students earlier today to see how they're dealing with the cold.
So it's pretty cold outside here in Toronto, but we survived our first snowstorm of the year with over 20 centimeters falling yesterday. I spoke with some students to see what they're doing to keep up spirits.
It was getting better, and then we had that snowstorm, so it kind of sucked. But we had a snow day yesterday, so slept in.
Is there anything that you're liking about this weather?
No.
Nothing at all.
It's
eh?
freezing.
It's too cold today.
It's too cold today.
Yeah. Especially yesterday it was snowing, a lot of snowing, but the weather is good.
So it's a little snow, eh? Nothing us Canadians can't handle. Now back to the studio.
The temperature will drop to -13 tonight, but we'll shoot back up to -2 tomorrow, with a low of -12 tomorrow night and some light flurries along the way. Thursday will be a little bit colder, with a high of -11 and a low of -18, but you can expect a little sunshine until Friday's snowfalls, with a high of -6 and a low of -20. It'll be a snowy weekend too, with no sun in sight, and lows of -8 and -16, so stay inside or bundle up. That's your 5-day forecast. I'm Matt Allen, signing off for SkedLIVE.
Thanks, Matt. Visit us online at skedline.com for all of these stories and more. From all of us here at SkedLIVE, I'm Jacob Schultz. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.